I did struggle with that particular challenge for more than 2 years, where we were not able to scale the business, we were not able to scale the company, get more clients. The reason being only because of my limiting belief that, no one else can do as good of a work as me. It's very hard to find amazing talent. But after I had a chat with one of my mentor, I could clearly see that the only way to grow the business is by hiring more people. And more importantly, honing and improving my own leadership skills and team building skills.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Organization Business Podcast. I'm your host, Linh Podetti. My guest today is Darshan Chavan, founder of Get My Course, a company that helps students and professionals to reach their full career potential by assisting them in obtaining nationally recognized certifications to boost their career paths. Now, Darshan was originally an EO accelerator member. He quickly grew his company to qualify for EO and now runs a company with 65 staff members, and he's on a mission to qualify for YPO while making a positive impact on the world. Today, we discussed how Darshan had to let go of control to grow his own team. He then shared useful information on how to find and retain staff, as well as how he separated his roles and responsibilities with his business partner. Join me for an insightful episode with Darshan. Well, welcome to the show, Darshan. It's so good to have you here.
I'm pleased to be here as well, Ben. I'm really pumped and excited. I've been so curious to jump on this podcast. So yeah, just can't wait to get started.
Well, let's get back to the beginning. How did you get started with this course? And I know that you're new to Australia as well. Tell us about how you started your business.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. I just moved to Australia exactly 11 years ago from now on. I just came to Melbourne in 2013 as an international student, and I joined Monash University. I just got a scholarship over there, and I enrolled in Masters in Business Intelligence. But I had zero interest in studies. The most important thing why I chose the course was it was an easier pathway for me to get into permanent residency. So that's how I started. And from the day I came to Australia, I wanted to start my business. So what happened was when I researched more on it, how can I start my business? What can I do? I could see a common pattern where people mention that you've got to be really good in sales and marketing. And I had zero sales background. I had zero marketing background. Back in India as well, I was working for IBM as an IT analyst. So I'm like, okay, how do I get started with sales? And I started applying for a lot of sales jobs. And the only job I ended up getting was a door-to-door sales job in Telstra. And yeah, that's where my entrepreneurship journey kind of began.
Yeah, I can relate. I used to door knock for Optus as well. I was selling Foxtel back in the days in Melbourne, a long time ago. So then tell me more about your business. What is it? And who do you serve?
Yeah, exactly. With us, what we do is really help people, grow their businesses, grow their companies and everything. Okay. And really help them unleash their own potential. And let me tell you a bit of a backstory as well. So how I met my business partner as well. And we decided to start the business. And I met my business partner in one of the Tony Robbins seminar. In Unleash the Power Within, way back in 2015. There you go. Amazing. So that's when we thought that, okay, if we can both walk on fire, I think so we'll be amazing business partners. We can walk through the business and overcome the challenges and all those things. And then it also gave us an insight that we both are willing to learn, improve, develop, and grow. And we had such a passion for personal development and professional development. And that's when we decided that maybe if we join forces, we can have a bigger impact.
So what does the business actually do? Is it selling courses? Is it what kind of course provided in there?
Maybe we have a couple of businesses. The first one is Get My Course, where we usually help people who work in the community sector industry, be it aged care, disability, childcare, schools all over Australia, get a recognition if they're already working in the industry, and they can get a certificate for diploma or an advanced diploma. And if someone wants to get into the sector, we help them get into that sector as well. And the second business is a ScaleX business, where we do something similar to you as well, Lynn, where we help business owners really delegate, outsource, and build remote teams, because that's what we were doing in the last 5 to 6 years. And that's where we are going. But yeah, amazing business going well.
Yeah. So with your program, is it all online, or do you have a school, or how does that actually work in terms of
100% online, okay? Because it's so much more effective. And we really saw this model working really well during COVID times. And at the beginning of COVID, we were pretty freaking out. We were like, okay, what's going to happen? would people still be interested to do their studies online, get their courses online? But as and when we progress, we could see that was the biggest thing that people wanted. They wanted that flexibility, where even after they come home from a busy day at work, they're able to do their courses, get their recognition, get their certificates. So that's where we saw a pretty good gap in the market. And more importantly, we could see that most of the competition or the training companies, they were really good in getting the students enrolled. But the biggest gap was making them finish the course. All right. That's the biggest gap which we could see in the market. And what we did was we built an entire team called as a customer success team or a completions team. And these people made sure the people finish their courses. So that's where we started building more of a brand, and the business got growing.
So when it comes to the course, is it like live classes, or is it like all pre-recorded training? And who are the teachers on there? Are they like uni teachers, or are they experts in different fields?
Yeah, it's going to be a blended one, all right, where some people, they can go through the online modules by themselves in a self-paced mode. But at the same time, weekly, twice, they can even jump in and have their doubt clearing session online with the trainers. And all these trainers are like certified, like training and assessment certified. And they also have an industry experience. So they've been working themselves as a director of a childcare center. So they themselves have been working in mental health groups. So they can speak with their own experience as well. In that way, people are able to relate to it.
So then how did you get started? Were you the one creating the courses earlier on, or did you hire someone straight away as your coach or your teacher? And how did you actually, roll out your business in the first place?
Yeah, for us, like we could see that there was a bit of a gap with the training organizations. They were good with compliance, they were good with training and everything. But where they needed the most help was in sales and marketing. And for me as well, I just started again when I moved from Melbourne to Queensland way back in 2017. The only thing which I knew was door-to-door sales. And I'm like, cool, let me start selling courses again door-to-door instead of Telstra. And I started approaching all the childcare centers, the aged care centers, disability centers. And I started selling all the courses over there. I still don't know most of the units of the course, but all I knew was what was the pain point and how can I really help them get those courses. And that's where we found our niche, and we've been helping students from then. And making sure that we're able to add massive value to students' life, not just getting a course or a certificate, but helping them build their career as well.
So then you're saying that you were the one delivering the sales and marketing program at the beginning, and then you started how did you grow from there beyond yourself then?
Oh, that's an awesome story. Okay, because I was so much into just the sales aspect and just one-man army kind of a mindset. And I'm like, I don't need to build a team. You know what? I can do all the sales, I can do all the marketing, and I can handle everything. And I think so I did struggle with that particular challenge for more than 2 years, where we were not able to scale the business, we were not able to scale the company, get more clients. The reason being only because of my limiting belief that, no one else can do as good of a work as me. Okay. It's very hard to find amazing talent. But after I had a chat with one of my mentor, I could clearly see that the only way to grow the business is by hiring more people, and more importantly, honing and improving my own leadership skills and team building skills. That's when the company started scaling. And way back in 2022, we got recognized by AFR as one of the 100 fastest growing businesses in Australia. And it was 66th position. That's where we were able to grow the business with a compounded revenue growth. And I think that was a very important part of our journey. Like I still see some entrepreneurs who struggle to let go, to give away the control and delegate and scale the business.
Yeah. So who were some of your first few hires? Was it an executive assistant, or was it actually like a trainer or someone more expert hire?
Yeah. The first few people were a combination of like telecom, like the telecommunication salespeople. All right, these were the people because we wanted to grow the business pretty faster, and handling salespeople was a bigger challenge because salespeople are not easy to handle. All right, but I myself being a salesperson, I could relate to it, and they were the first people that we started with. And right after them came the customer success team. So we were able to hire many more customer success people so that they can jump in and take care of the back end, help the students, all right, add value and make sure that they're able to be entertained all along the way until they finish the course. So these were the few people I think so we hired in the beginning.
So how big is your team now? And I also spoke to you and you said that there was a period where you also had some retention issues and keeping your team. So can you share a little bit about that?
Currently, we have over 65 team members at the moment in one of the businesses. And initially, it was almost like 4 or 5 years ago, we were trying pretty hard to scale the business. And the biggest challenge also which we face is in getting the right talent to meet the values and the culture of your company. And then what happened was both me and my business partners sat down and pulled up the list of the top 10% or 20% of people in our company. And when we pulled out, we could see that there were some similar patterns in them. They were from a particular personality type. Like if you heard of disc profiling, they were usually high D's, low C, or high C, low D. And people who used to not stay with the company often, I'm not sure if it's because of the project or what happens. If people are high I, more extroverted and other things, we found that those people could not stay with the company for longer. Or we could see that they weren't consistently producing after a long time. So that's when we could clearly see that these are the people who have a lot of hunger in them as well, who are above, even most of the time when we profile them, they were usually women above the age group of 30. And these were the personalities that they had. And we were like, wow, that's an awesome match. So it took a bit of time for us to find out which was the profiling that works so well for our company. And then what we did was we applied the marketing approach to our recruitment campaigns as well. We started coming up with different landing pages, what's in it for people to start working with us. And it's been a journey right now. And right now people really love coming to work with us. We have close to 90% retention rate. And we do a few more things as well to make sure people are there in our company.
So what was the difference between how you used to hire versus now? What are the big differences in the way you post your job or the way you interview?
Yeah, for the biggest thing is we try to look out for those people who really are hungry. And also what we do is we start recruiting and hiring sometimes 2 or 3 months even before the position is needed. Because what I've seen over time is when you try to hire someone where you need right now or or the job is vacant, you tend to settle for not good of a talent. Whereas when we have a buffer time, planning and organizing, saying that in 3 months' time, this is the particular talent that we need, we have so much more bandwidth to find the right person for the right role. This has been a pretty big game changer for us in our company. Thinking ahead and making sure these are the people that we need to go through. This is the particular traits we need. This is the particular personality we need. And what are the key roles and responsibilities that they have? It makes the job so much more easier.
So when you mentioned that you were able to profile the great people, does it mean that all the people have the same personality in your group, in your company? Are they all alike, or how do you embrace the different types of people, even though they don't fit the same profile? Yeah,
that's an amazing question, Lynn. Most of the people are of the similar personalities, but having said that, a different role sometimes might need a different personality. So imagine if someone is going to be on a customer success team, sometimes we do hire people who have that I quotient in them because they need to be a bit more extroverted. They need to be able to connect with people. All right. And that is one example. The second example is if you tend to hire a bookkeeper. So we might still go for a higher C percentage because they need to be way more detail oriented. So they need to have more analytical skill. So in that way, we still have a good combination of personalities, but usually there is a dominant personality in the entire business. Again, this is something that works for our business. It might be different for other businesses, but over time, when we profiled it, these are the personalities that work pretty well for us.
Very interesting. So now that you've been in business for a while, has business turned out to be the way you've imagined it to be? Has it been really difficult? Has it been exciting? I'd love to hear some of your learning lessons around your business journey so far.
I think it's going really where we wanted it to go. All right. There have been a bit of ups and downs. To be honest with you, it's going way better than what I imagined. I was imagining 10 years we would be where we are, but I think so we are there in like 6 to 7 years time itself. And some of the biggest growths we have had is in really adding more value to the customers and as well as the team members. And this is what both me and my business partner do. Even at the beginning of every month, beginning of every quarter, we just sit down and brainstorm how can we add 10 times of value, both for the clients and as well as for the team members. What can we do above and beyond so that it just blows their mind off? So that has been the biggest part for me. If we can take care of the clients really well, all right, they can see that we are going really well in delivering value to them. And at the same time, the team feels really well connected. And more importantly, these days, in the last 2 to 3 years, I've spent way more time in making sure the culture of the company is something that people love to come to work, because I can see that that's very infectious. If we take care of the people who work for the company, it has a ripple effect, and they take care of the customers, and it builds an amazing cycle in a loop.
I agree with you. My role at the moment is also culture is one of them. So love to hear about yourself. What is your role now? Are you a CEO and you've got your partner there? Like, what's his role? How do you differentiate your roles? And what are the roles and responsibilities for you two?
Yeah, 100%. For me, like we do divide the responsibilities between us, sometimes depending on our personalities. I'm a bit of a high D, low C, and my business partner is high D, and he has a bit of a high I as well. So for me, I go more into the financials because I can look into the details and the data and everything. And he, usually manages the sales aspect of the business. Trying to have a chat with salespeople and trying to have a chat with the partners and other things. Whereas I take a bit more deeper perspective into the financials and also marketing. Marketing is what I handle in the entire business, because sometimes in marketing, you need to look at the data. You need to look at the conversions, the ROAS, and other things. So what we do is we play on each of our strengths. And having said that, what we do is we also catch up with our board every month for 4 hours so that we can go deeper and both of us are aligned in where we want to take the business as well.
Very, very good. It's good that you've got those different strengths and you play on that. And so how have you grown as a leader since you started the business? What were you like as a leader back then and what are you like now?
Oh, in the beginning, like 5 or 6 years ago, it was a journey, all right? And I used to really resist leadership and team building because I was like, no, let's just take care of the sales, the marketing, and it's going to work. The strategy is going to work. But more and more that the time I've spent with my leadership mentor, leadership coach, I can see that usually sales and marketing gives you the money freedom. But the more you get better in your leadership skills, in your team building skills, it does give you the time freedom as well. So sales and marketing sometimes gives you the money freedom, but team and leadership building gives you the time freedom. And that's been really important for me. And more, I just go into my leadership journey. I can see that it's kind of a personal development journey as well for me. Because that's still one of the hardest things that you need to go through, working with people. Because sometimes the most of the problems happening in your life are with people as well. But at the same time, most of the fulfillment and happiness you get is because of the people that you work with. And for me, it's gotten more and more about how can I make sure I'm able to impact people's life, not just the profit or the revenue of the company, but how can I help more people in my team as well hit their personal goals. And that's what we keep discussing with them as well. We rarely discuss any of the company goals, any company projects, because usually people don't care much, all right, about your company. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But they are more driven and the hunger comes from them is because of their personal goals. So that's where it has been more towards my leadership journey. And I'm still working on it. It's still work in progress.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about your journey in EO. Like, how long have you been in EO? Like, how did you hear about it? And what's your experience so far?
It's an awesome story with EO as well, because when I first got into sales, I still remember I had on my vision board a cutout of EO accelerator. Okay, and when I first started business and I was in just a salesperson doing door-to-door sales, my number one goal was to qualify as an EO accelerator. And I had kept a logo of it. How much do I need to hit in Aussie dollars, everything. And every morning, I think I used to visualize for almost 2 years that I need to get into accelerator. And that's what I did. In 2018, I was able to get into EO Accelerator. And within 2 years time, I said, okay, I have now qualified for EO Accelerator. What I'm going to do to make sure I'm in the main EO one. So we need to make around 1.5 million in revenue. And that was like 3 years ago, where I've been thinking about it. Like, what can I do? How can I qualify for it? Because EO has played up the biggest role in my life, in my business growth and journey, especially the forums, the seminars that we do. And even last year, I was a part of the EO University as well in Sydney. I got to meet some really cool people. And more importantly, the biggest thing which I love about EO is the experiences that we have. Like, the restaurants that you get to, some of the speakers you get to speak with, the adventurous activities you get to. And I was earning for a group where I can share openly, okay, without any challenges, without keeping myself back. And the more I'm able to tap into the resource like EO, I just can't tell you how many things it has helped me in different aspects of my life, not just business, be it personal life as well. Right now, it's very rare that even in family, I tend to tell someone what to do because I can see that it really doesn't work. Okay, so that's why I just tend to use the gestalt as well. And if I don't have anything, I just sit quiet. And I can see that the EO has played the biggest role. And then one area where EO has helped me a lot is in honing my vulnerability skill. Previously, I wasn't. I'm super strong. I don't have any weakness. All right. And that's how you are. You're like a macho man. Nothing is wrong with you and other things. But what happened was since I started attending forums, I started opening up. It became a natural part of me. And now during our leadership meetings or even in family, I'm a bit more open and vulnerable. And I can see how it opens up people to your suggestions and your message.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of EO. That's why I contribute to this EO business podcast too, because I just love to be able to meet awesome people like yourself. So you seem like the type that if you set your mind to something, you've got a goal, you get there. So, you got to Accelerate, you got to EO now. What's next? What's the next goal for you?
For me, there are a few more things. One is something which I'm aiming for is the next thing is the YPO. Because I already have my vision board right now. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm 36 right now. I have maybe 8 more years to make sure I qualify for YPO. So I'm just making sure that, okay, who do I need to become? Is this sort of about the revenue or something? What kind of skills do I need to develop? All right. What are things that I need to let go? All right. Who do I need to network with? What kind of a person I need to become? And the most important one, the more I speak with YPOs, I can see that they are more inclined towards making a bigger impact. All right. They want to appeal and they want to impact like a bigger audience. So that's where I'm working towards as well, to making sure my vision is a bit more clearer and I'm able to communicate to people this vision where, everyone can benefit together.
So has the meaning of success changed for you since you first started your business and now that you've been EO member for a while and you can see that your family's changed or there's improvement in your life? So what does success actually mean for you now?
Oh, it has changed completely. All right. Because when I was in my early 20s, it was all about making money. All right. I was like, okay, let's make as much money as possible very quickly and nothing to worry about. But after I think so, you had a bit of a growth in the business and you can see that you really do not need too much money. All right. Money is an amazing thing. It still gives you the freedom, the flexibility, the convenience and everything. But right after that, it's about serving a bigger cause, a bigger purpose, because that's more sustainable. And I've seen more with people as well. When money is the only driving factor, there are more chances of you burning out. All right. You really not able to sustain that motivation. Whereas when there is a bigger cause, when there is a bigger impact that you want to make, you would be able to sustain it for a bit of a longer duration of time. And more importantly, you feel more fulfilled. It doesn't look like work. And that's something which has changed in the last 3 to 4 years for me. Whenever I wake up, I think I would do the work which I'm currently doing even for free. It doesn't matter. And that's something that we try to pass on to the team members, and it becomes a part of the culture.
Well, this leads me to the final question then. What impact do you want to make to the world? What do you want to be remembered for?
For me, somehow in my core, I still believe that entrepreneurs are the only people who can change the world. And when I say entrepreneurs, even being in a job, you can have the entrepreneurial mindset. You can be an entrepreneur. So I still believe that those kind of people who are able to take the risks, be proactive, take ownership, make things happen are the ones who can really change the world. And for me, every day I wake up, I'm like, okay, how can I help another entrepreneur, all right, to succeed? Because I can see that entrepreneurs are those people who can have a ripple effect. Because right now in our team, just in one company, we have 65 staff. And I can see that with the initiatives, with the projects that we are running, it's just not that 65 members, it's their family members, all right? It's their immediate family members, be it their partners, their children, their in-laws, their parents. So it has a very big compounding or a domino effect. So right now, every time I ask is, how can I deliver value? How can I make a bigger impact to people who have that entrepreneurial mindset so that they can make those changes?
Oh, that's beautiful. That ripple effect. Thank you so much, Darshan, for your time today. I really enjoyed the conversation. And thank you for your time with the EO Business Podcast today.
Thanks for having me here, Lynn. It's an amazing podcast that you're doing. And I always make sure I deliver value to people in EO as well. If you have any questions, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to have a quick chat.
Yeah, we'll have all your details in the description below. So thank you again.
Thank you so much.